Hello, everyone. Welcome to the BGB's podcast, episode 16. Wow, 16 years
16
of BGB's
years
podcast.
of
Incredible.
podcast.
I'm one of your hosts, John Warren. With me is my forever co-host, Niki Grayson.
Hello.
And today we celebrate a monumental week. I hope we never, ever forget. Yes, that's right. The release date of the second Dreamcast in Final Fantasy VIII, 9/9/99. Never forget. Salute. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be talking about those a little bit later in the show. I have all sorts of questions I want to ask Niki about things that they have not probably interacted with a whole lot. But first, I want to start with some breaking news. I mean, genuinely, in the past 15 minutes, we're actually recording this episode late today. And if we had not recorded it late today, we would have not caught this tidbit of information. The entirety of Annapurna Interactive staff has resigned, leaving Megan Ellison, the head of Annapurna, alone to deal with the numerous projects that are currently intertwined with Annapurna for publishing purposes. The story is that the heads of Annapurna Interactive were negotiating a spin-off company that would basically manage the games business on its own. Megan Ellison at some point dropped out of that negotiation, and the heads left. And then now today we realize that all staffers have also left the company. So, very interesting piece of news to start with, because it is unexpected. Annapurna has been making really big, loud deals, including with Remedy.
Yeah, like a week and a half ago,
John. All those deals stay with Annapurna. The company has said, like, hey, we're dedicated to doing this. A very boilerplate, like, more or less, this doesn't mean anything.
We'll just get
to our partners. We'll just get new guys, which is probably what's going to happen. But it is a very strange story. I don't think we know all the details yet. Jason Schreier with a bit of a scoop this afternoon about the remaining staffers that left. The Hollywood Reporter had reported earlier that the execs had left, but it is a deeper problem than that. Weird one, huh?
Wowee.
It's kind of weird to... It's kind of weird to go that direction, you know?
I had no idea what the breaking news is going to
be. It was very unexpected. No, it wasn't
not that.
No.
Wow. So all of them.
All of them, apparently. According to Jason's reporting.
To do
the most, so this is, at this point, this is speculative, all right?
Yes.
So if they were trying to negotiate a spin-off company, and I'm probably violating some sort of NDA here for ZAM, but I'm just going to do it anyway and hope for the best.
That's fine.
We had at some point, we were running a publishing business in the web space, covering games, making media, all the stuff. At some point, ZAM had created a silo that was meant to essentially be a community management, comms, publishing light kind of arm for games. Those two businesses have very different models. Yes. They have very different goals. They have very different, but ethically, business wise, all that stuff. And I had very badly wanted us to spin off that business because, one, I believed it would be simpler for everyone's bottom line if you were basically tracking that business and not mixing those things together. I imagine the Annapurna Interactive people were wanting a similar situation. Okay, you have these big hit-driven movies. Annapurna is really about more, yes, we're investing in auteurs and kind of bigger indies, certainly, especially with Remedy, but we're also wanting to finance a lot more smaller projects, have lesser gestation times. I don't know if Annapurna is into that. I'm not sure. On the film side, they seem to be kind of doing less.
They do. Yeah,
A24 is really kind of taken Annapurna's space.
I thought that was the same company for a really long time.
I did too.
For a really long time, I thought it was. Totally I was like, A24 is the movies part, and Annapurna is the video games part. That's
also what I thought. That's not it. But Annapurna used, they were making a lot of movies. They've kind of slowed that business down. Annapurna Interactive was a bit busier. I think they wanted to spin it off, and I guess Megan Ellison thought that was a bad idea. daughter of Larry Ellison, the founder of Oracle, the CEO of Oracle.
The Oracle man.
So we're talking billionaires here. And so they left. It's a big choice. You know what? You know what I will say, and I don't know enough. Okay, for a bunch of people to
that's hard
leave these projects in the lurch with Megan.
Yes,
the negotiation and the vibes must have been so bad.
Yes,
that to leave them in the lurch was like worth it, because that would be difficult for me.
No, for sure. And also to convince every staffer to be like,
it must be bad.
It has to be bad.
It has to be bad.
That's insane.
It has to be bad. So we don't know a lot of details yet. This is still a breaking story. Most of what we could possibly say about it, speculation, like I said, but it's just it's just bizarre. I mean, in a week where we're kind of getting the same kind of round of bullshit, we'll talk about it. Layoffs, big projects that seem to not really have much of direction being announced. You know, all that we're speed running kind of the normal news cycle in games in the past couple of days, and this one's just kind of out of left field.
Out of freaking left field. Wow,
bizarre.
Oh man.
Yeah, and I don't, you know, it's like,
man,
the confidence that, you know, Remedy is one of those companies that they do seek these kind of co-investment opportunities, because I think they want to avoid the cycle. They don't want to lay people off. It's safer.
Yeah.
And it probably gives them less control. It gives them, you know, so they give away some rights, but they do it to be safe. And if I'm them right now, I don't know what I'm thinking. I don't know what that call to Megan Ellison's like.
Yeah, is there a what if everybody on staff leaves the company clause in the contract to be like, well, we'll just tear this whole bad boy up?
We'll just tear the whole bad boy up. But if you're at all affiliated with Annapurna in any capacity, on the film side, publishing side, whatever, I would imagine whatever you're doing is going to be slowed down by a factor of months right now.
Yeah. Weird day at work tomorrow, I'm sure.
Weird Friday. Get your ducks in the row. Yeah, ducks in a row Friday.
I might suggest you be out sick if you're still over there.
Yeah.
You got a little cough.
Yeah, just let Megan deal with it.
Yeah,
She collects motorcycles. She can deal with it. Don't worry.
She can freaking do it. God, crazy.
Well, yeah, so wild breaking news. Wanted to start with that. But Niki, of course, it's another week. It's another Sony thing. I definitely want to ask you about the PS5 Pro. You and I have not talked about this at all.
Nope. So I can't wait.
I'm very excited to talk to you about it. Yes, Mark Cerny gave his 9-minute presentation. The goal is primarily, if you want a kind of a high level bottom line, they're trying to squish the distance between fidelity and performance modes. Graphic modes in their games is kind of the name of the game. We could talk about like how much of a percentage the GPU is better by and all this stuff. That stuff probably doesn't matter to you.
Who cares?
It matters to Digital Foundry, and they'll do some stuff, and I'm sure that'll be fine. But that's the main goal, is basically squishing that distance. They showed a lot of side-by-side comparisons. I definitely want to talk about those. And the bottom line of the thing is it is $700 at base price. Niki, PS5 Pro.
I'm getting 6. Getting 6 of them, John. I can't. I love this thing. I think it's a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
I watched that whole thing, and already this generation of console is the one that has been the most like, well, for what? What'd we do this for, huh? We really were just like, we'll put these boxes out and everything will come.
Mm-hmm.
And then nothing came, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, not nothing came, but like there are 3 games.
Yeah.
Basically, that I would describe as like feeling next gen in presentation, or feeling that did not feel possible on PS4 Pro and Xbox Series X or Xbox One X. Like the games look better, yeah, for sure. But like, that's not what I'm chasing. $700 is an insane amount of money.
It's a crazy amount of money.
It is double the amount of money, that then Sony will sell you a PlayStation right now for $350 refurbished. I think it's like $350.
A new one is $450.
Yes, and they'll sell you a refurbished one for like $350 or $400, depending on if you want discless or if you want the disc version.
I wrote this on the site. You can go to your Walmart right now, and for only $30 more than $700, you can buy a base PS5 and a Nintendo Switch OLED. And I just don't. If you can fit a console in between the gap between your incremental hardware, I don't understand. I don't understand that.
No, it doesn't make any sense. So they showed. We should talk about this presentation, which was the least like. When he did this for the PlayStation 5, there was stuff for Mark to talk about, right?
Right.
He was like, we call it the solid state drive.
Right. Yeah.
And we made loading screens go away.
The load time that really we have, I agree that this console generation has been disappointing in a way that other console generations have not been for me. But from a technological perspective, both main consoles, Xbox and PS5, for some reason, for me, Switch kind of lives outside of them. We can talk about that too.
I guess it's because yes.
But like Xbox's quick resume thing when it works is unbelievably cool.
That shit works. I don't understand how it works because you can unplug the Xbox.
I know.
And then plug it back in and it still
power outage. And I was like, oh, I lost all that shit.
Yeah.
And it came back on.
No, I don't know. I don't get it.
And then the total removal of load times. What do you think? This is such a funny. I don't know why this kills me every time. What do you think the NBA 2K TV people thought when they were like, we're eliminating load times? Folks, if you don't know, the old NBA 2K games, when you go to a loading screen, you got to watch these like highly produced videos that these people make every single week.
Every week they make a 15-minute long YouTube video.
A 15-minute long video. They spend so much money on this shit. And with the PS5, you don't have to fucking worry about it. It's just gone.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes, Cerny had nothing to talk about because he has nothing big to go to talk about.
So, and it's like, okay, the GPU's bigger. Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? That doesn't affect me. It doesn't affect the video games that I'm going to play because they still are going to have to make video games for the regular ass PlayStation 5.
Yep.
So whatever. But they show, and I think you have to step away from the fact that like they were showing this on YouTube.com, which notoriously has bad compression, right?
It does.
On a YouTube live stream, like it is the worst compression.
It's the worst way
possible.
to showcase this. Yes.
However, the stuff that they were still showing conceptually was like they would take the smallest screen they would take this wide shot of Ratchet and Clank. The new one, Rift Apart.
You've latched onto my absolutely favorite part. Yep. Mm-hmm.
And they were like, here's Ratchet and Clank in the middle of the screen.
And they look great.
And they look fucking delicious. You would slice these guys up, eat them, put them on a grill, and yum, delicious. And then they're like, now here in the background are thousands of characters that are moving and active and look beautiful, alive, lively scene. Everyone's bipping and bopping around. And then they do like a NBC zoom in, like you're watching Sunday Night Football and they're trying to figure out where Odell's foot is on the line. And it's a box on 4 of the guys out of the 350 in this crowd shot. And they're like, now these guys, less Jaggies. Yes, and it's like, I couldn't see these guys to begin with.
See these guys to begin with. I'm not looking.
I'm not looking
when I'm playing the video game, I'm not doing that.
You know who I'm looking at? Ratchet and Clank. We're in the middle of the screen.
Clank, and the guy's shooting a missile at me or whatever. I'm not doing this.
And it's like, it is videos for... or the improvements are for people who do not play video games. It is for people who look at them. But then say that's what Sony, say you give that to Sony. and you say, sure, the games do look better, right?
Mhm.
They're running at not 4K, closer to 4K,
Closer.
and closer to 60 frames a second.
Mhm.
So like not at either of those things for sure.
Which is weird. Can I just say that I thought when he started the presentation,
yes,
I thought he was going to say, we're getting rid of these modes.
Of the modes.
They're because it's gonna run
it's the
fidelity visuals at 60
performance,
and we're not there.
No, we aren't. And it's like the only way that he says in the thing, he says 3/4 of the players play the game in performance mode.
Mm-hmm.
So 3/4 of people don't give a shit and don't know what they're missing.
No.
So why are you trying to make them spend $700 on a thing that they have already told you they don't care about?
I am not a data above everything decision maker always.
Yeah.
But that's pretty clear.
Yeah, you don't need it.
Like, you don't need to spend the money that you just spent to go, well, these 25% that wouldn't know the difference between 30 and 60 frames if it slapped them in the balls. Like, they're gonna now have 40. And like, they don't care.
Whoa, they don't care. They've already said that they don't care.
Right.
So I was, like you, under the impression that Mark was going to say, so what we've done is we've eliminated the need to choose.
Yeah.
It is the best of both worlds. That is what we have done.
Yeah. The games that you play will no longer give you the option to choose because
they
you don't
just
need
will.
to.
You don't.
It'll detect that you're playing a PS5 Pro and you're good.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. And that's the path I feel like they need to get back on, because when we get too much into, and I'm going to sound like Greg Miller here for a second.
No,
when we get too much into like trying to make the console experience like PC.
No, you tell me.
You are inviting people
to
go, maybe I should just go get a PC.
Yeah.
Like don't give them a fucking choice.
No,
just make it good.
Yeah, the whole point is I want you to tell me what you want the video game to look like.
Yes.
That's not my decision. You fucking made it.
Yep.
Like,
I agree.
Like, that's on, like, you tell me. Like, I don't know what the fuck anti-aliasing is.
No.
What is DLSS? I don't know. That's not my fucking job. That's your job. You put the shit in the game and I play it.
You put it in.
So like, that ain't it. And then but actually, the CNET article comes out. CNET like got a first look.
Exclusive, yeah.
And Mark in that interview is like, actually some games will have more modes.
Right.
It's like, what are you talking about?
Mean? Right.
No, like I don't want choice.
I don't want it.
I want to put the disc in and for it to do the best it can.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the idea that a person is going to walk into the Best Buy, and this will happen, and it is sad that this is going to happen because they will have got by marketing. They will have a $600 TCL special that you cannot walk into Best Buy and buy right now because they bought it on Black Friday and it was a special run that TCL does where they use shittier components, shittier panels, shittier internals to make the thing be big, huge panel, and it is 4K on paper.
Yep.
Yes. They are going to plug this fucking box in and it is going to look the exact same. They are not going to know.
They're not
because the number of people who are sitting too, and I think I tweeted this, the number of people who have a TV that is too small that they are sitting too far away from is most people in this in the United States for sure.
Yep.
But globally, I did not see a TV when I was in Australia bigger than 55 inches when I was there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they make them that big anywhere else than America. So like, I don't, what do you mean? No one's going to be able to see the difference in fidelity that you are claiming, which is already minuscule. No one's going to be able to see that difference in fidelity. Who is it for? So it just seems like they felt obligated to release this box because they're trying to squeeze more money out of this lemon.
Right.
But also no people are asking them to squeeze more juice out of the lemon.
Right.
Wouldn't it have made more sense for Sony to have spent the R&D that they spent on the PS5 Pro on a new PSP instead?
Probably.
And then brought that to market instead as a companion piece, like a $300 companion device to the PlayStation 5.
We're all kind of waking up to a very clear plateau in console gaming. But we're also waking up to what is clearly a boom in portable gaming.
Yeah.
And for them to just, I know they've got their Portal and all that stuff, but it's like they could have done something else. They could have done something more impressive in that regard. And I don't know, it would have been more interesting. This incremental difference is very strange. I also found it very odd, the choices of games that they showed.
It's because none of them, there are 13 games confirmed to run better on this.
I get that, but like they showed Control, but not Alan Wake 2.
Yes.
They didn't show Black Myth Wukong, which is like the
biggest game in the world,
powerhouse and the biggest game in the world. They didn't show Astro Bot.
No.
Which I guess when I thought about it, I was like, yeah, I guess you wouldn't in theory want to talk about how this game that just came out will eventually look marginally better.
But then wouldn't you also want to be like, look how great this is gonna look? You thought it looked fucking great over here.
It looks really good now.
It looked.
It's just like they were showing The Last of Us. Fine. The problem with showing The Last of Us is that we have been to this fucking rodeo for a decade times with this fucking game specifically.
Yes.
Of just like, we made it look a little bit better. All right. 3 years later, we made it look a little bit better.
Who is it for?
It's for the fucking Telu perverts out there. I don't know. But are they moving these consoles? No, I don't know.
It can't, those circles cannot be overlapping such
I don't
that
think so either.
Someone who is as addicted as Sony thinks they are to The Last of Us as a franchise, that they say, you know what I really need is to be able to play this game that I, again, on average, already played at 60 frames a second.
I already played it.
Is not going to be better.
No.
And when for The Last of Us section specifically, that was the only game that they put it up in fidelity versus performance mode. Mm-hmm. So, of course, when you look at 30 frames a second versus 60 frames a second in the same video feed, you're going to be like, wow, this looks like shit. Yeah, but nobody played it like you just told me that 3/4 of people didn't play it like this.
Nobody played it like that. And the loss in fidelity is simply not enough.
No.
In performance mode
because
it's like
your TV is too small.
Right.
You are sitting too far away from it. And it was $600 at Best Buy.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make a difference.
Yeah.
What you're doing here.
And
they would have been.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, I was going to say they would have been better served if instead of this PS5 Pro, they could have still charged $700. This is the thing that is fucking me up.
Mm-hmm.
They still could have collected $700 for an object if the object was a weaker PS5 that you could carry around.
Mm-hmm.
And they could have been like, we are approaching this the way that Apple is in theory approaching Vision Pro, which is, this is a first-gen product. It's really expensive, so you can figure it out. We're introducing a new SKU at a new power profile.
Yep.
Developers, you go figure it out. When we come back next year or in 2 years, this thing will be $500 and on par power-wise with this thing.
Yep.
That's a better use of money, gang.
Yes, it is.
You're going to sell more of those that way.
The fact that they didn't look at Steam Deck analysis on the Sony-based games like God of War and go, we could have built this brick and just shipped it with Astro Bot on it already. Here it is. You can play Astro Bot on the fucking go on this portable thing, and it's still going to look amazing because you're exactly right. It's going to be on a tiny screen, and it's not going to matter. You're not going like,
it needs
wow, that crowd in Ratchet and Clank looks a little jaggy.
Exactly. Yeah,
you're not doing that.
The game needs to run at 800p. You know how easy that is to run a game at 800p on a 6-inch to 9-inch screen. It's really easy. Like, it's not easy. I don't want to be like it's easy.
I know.
It's less intensive than it would be on a PlayStation 5 Pro.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know if like Sony, if like the thing that gets me about Sony is that it's like they forget that they have other parts of the business. Sony makes screens, they make cameras, they make phones, they make video game box. They make every single part of the stack to create this device. It's not hard. They already have AMD on the phone. AMD already makes chips for this. They make the one that's in the Steam Deck. They already have it's just a phone. Like, the Steam Deck is just a big weird phone.
Yeah.
Sony already makes those, has made those in the past for a very long time. It can't be that hard.
I don't get it.
It can't be that hard.
I don't get it. You get it. I mean, listen, I'm getting into kind of fantasy booking territory, but it's like, yeah, you could have released that. You could have packaged a couple games with it. You could have announced, oh, by the way, like, the entire PSP and Vita libraries are available to you on this device.
The whole, and like,
in addition to PS2, PS3, PS4, all this stuff on a handheld device, which is like, that's not nothing. My Steam Deck is absolutely chock-a-block full of emulated PS1, PS2, and PSP games and stuff like that.
But it's hard.
But your average person
is not going
to go through, even though EmuDeck is super easy and all this stuff. There is so many steps that it is disqualifying for most people.
Yeah, it's harder. It is, but it is harder than. There's the you have to fight against free argument, which is fair.
Yep.
But free, you do have to set up.
Sure.
People would love to give
an
Sony
easy thing.
Yes. People would love to give Sony $15 for Ape Escape.
Yes.
If they could have gotten a thing that says this is this PlayStation Portable. This is what I've decided to call it. The portable PlayStation. It just plays everything up to PS4.
Yeah.
And then some PS5 game or whatever, And they're like, we set up the store again. So we already have these ISOs. So we just set up the store. So you can give us 15. You can sign up for PlayStation Plus Essentials and it'll give you this library. But if you don't want that, or if you want to own the game, you can give us $15. We'll give you Ape Escape.
Yep.
That's
amazing.
Crazy.
Huge.
Easy.
I
don't know. I don't know who it's for. It's gonna, but here's the thing, right? It's gonna sell out, right? Like, it's gonna sell out. It's gonna get scalped, and then I think by this time next year, we're going to be in a situation where they're going to be like, well, we sold all of them, which is huge. Sold all the ones that we made, and then there will be a lot of them around. I think. So,
and then we have to wait for PS6, which, like, I feel like at some point we were hearing scuttlebutt that was going to be sooner than people expected.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the PS5 has been, certainly not their Wii U, because it sold well.
No, for sure.
But
it sold very well.
It sold very, very well. But I struggle, when I hear the PS2 broke insane records and has retained a ton of records as a selling console, I go, yeah, that tracks. That makes sense. When I hear that the PS5 did it, I'm like, I don't actually fully understand that. But it did well. But yeah, I thought the PS6 might be a little bit faster. Instead, they're doing this PS Pro thing, and we'll just see how it goes.
Put a good video game out.
Probably you actually support for more than 2 weeks.
Yeah, would probably
That's a good one.
do better.
I mean, they just did Astro Bot, so that was good.
Yeah, that's one.
Just make the whole thing out of Astro Bot,
Yeah, Lego. But it does seem there was that article that Herman Hulse came out today and was like, "Hey," or not today, Tuesday, whatever. Who knows what day
yes,
it is?
yes,
Tuesday. And he was like, "Oh yeah, family games is where we're gonna go." And it's like, yeah, gang.
Yep, good job.
You've kind of made every single sad walk em up, which is what I called them today. I was on a call and I called them walk em ups because I couldn't figure out what to describe them as, and I said PlayStation walk em ups. And like, you made all of the ones of those that you can make.
Yep.
You're really good at it.
You made Samurai one. You made Biker Zombie one.
Yes.
You made Sad Zombie one.
Yes. You made Old Timey one.
You made Old Timey one.
And then you made. That's it.
You made Robot Chicken one.
Yes. You made Jump, and then you made Jump one.
You made Jump one.
And that's it. That's all of the video games it seems like y'all know how to make anymore.
Yep.
So, and then you killed all of the studios that know how to make other kinds of video games.
Mm-hmm. Congrats.
Yeah, great job, gang.
Well, at least Microsoft's doing well, right?
Yeah, at least, things are going. Hold on.
We're getting reports that 650 more people were laid off.
Great.
From Microsoft this week. Phil Spencer saying, with these changes, our corporate and supporting teams and resources are aligned for sustainable future growth and can better support our studio teams and business units and programs and resources that can scale to meet their needs. Separately, as part of running the business, there are some impacts to other teams as they adapt to shifting priorities and manage the life cycle and performance of games. No devices, games, or experiences are being canceled, and no studios are being closed as part of these adjustments today. Yeah,
these are just 650 people we found.
I mean, it's so weird. It is like I feel for it in just a slight way where it's like, really, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. But it's so weird to be like, 650 people are leaving and they didn't mean a fucking thing to us. Nothing you ever do is going to be impacted by you leaving. You leaving is like, I just forget you fucking existed because nothing will be impacted by your departure.
Yeah, it doesn't matter that you're gone.
It's so weird.
It's like, mean?
It's just like, you could be like, well, yeah, we're going to have disruptions and yeah, we might have to close some studios and everyone's going to be mad. Or it's like, yeah, we found these 650 people in our finance department and they're apparently fucking useless.
Which, like, fair, but also like,
how do those people feel?
But also, not to be crazy, this thing I'm about to say is insane.
Okay.
How do you just laid off way more than that at the beginning of the year?
1,900 people, yep.
Did they not realize that these 650 people that they didn't need? What's the deal there?
I think what happens is that you identify, you do it in tranches. You take the 1,900 and you hope that things get better. But you identified those 650 people
ages ago.
Yeah.
When they identified 100%. The 1,900 people.
Yep, 100%.
Right? So it's like
they knew those 650 when they did the 1,900 for sure. Yes.
Annoying.
Really annoying. It's a tough one. Yeah, that brings their layoffs for this year alone close to 3,000. So
healthy industry. That's what you want.
It's really tough. Not much else to say there. No studio closures. Still not a lot of details. Remember when Tango Gameworks just got bought up again by a different place, and then Barley. And then we kind of just didn't hear anything else about it.
Yeah.
Kind of strange.
That was weird.
Very weird. Unity is dropping their runtime fee, which is very cool.
1 year too late.
1 year too late, but you know what? Better late than never. Their new CEO, Matt Bromberg, wrote that you got to build trust with your devs. Wow, you should have thought of that before.
Yeah, should have.
John,
if only
someone Rickety Cello had fucked everything up for you.
If only someone thought about that before.
If
today.
only. So just so you if folks didn't know, Unity used to be completely free to install and actually completely build your game. You can go out, not charge for a game, have a bunch of people install it. You weren't being charged for any of that. Then John Riccitiello, there we go.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. He's gone now. said, you know what, fuck that. We're going to nickel and dime everyone. We're going to do it by install, meaning that if you're doing early access, if you didn't have the funds, if you were small but wanted a lot of people to test it out, you're going to be charged for those installs. So you could theoretically get into a situation where you start to owe a lot more money to Unity than you're bringing in, which is really shitty, really anti indie. It was a really big problem. A lot of indies left to go to other engines, and it took them a long time to walk this completely back, but they did. Now it's going back to a revenue funding tier system. I'll just briefly tell you what those tiers are.
Yeah,
For
what is
Unity
that? Well, can you tell me what that means?
Which one?
What does revenue
tiers?
funding tier mean?
So basically, they're basically splitting it up into you're being charged based on how much revenue or funding that you have.
I see.
So if you have a lot of funding coming in, they're going to want to pre-charge you for that. If you have a lot of revenue coming in, they're going to charge a percentage of that. But what that looks like is Unity Personal remains free, and its revenue funding ceiling increases from 100,000 to 200,000. So basically, you have to start making 200,000 before you owe Unity anything. Unity Pro, for customers over that personal limit, you see an 8% price increase to 2,200 per seat. So hopefully you're making enough money to cover that. You should be. Unity Enterprise with customized packages for those over 25 million in revenue or funding. That's going to see a 25% increase, which is a really, really big increase. So this is a very, it's an indie friendly change. I don't know if it's a very friendly change for those bigger companies. I don't,
for sure.
I would have to look deeper into the math between Unity and Unreal on that. At first memory of what I used to remember of that stuff, Unreal is by far a better deal for a bigger company, but I should dig in a little bit deeper.
Is there a preference? Is Unity just, how do I ask this question? Do people like using Unity because it is free to start in a way that Unreal did not used to be? Is that what happened? But now Unreal is free to start, so it is flipping.
Two things. Yes, Unity got such a head start that like it had a ton of built-in goodwill and people just knowing how to do that. Unreal is not lightweight.
No.
With Unity, you can really kind of piecemeal it together to be as light or as heavy as you want, and it is naturally light. You know, at its base core level, it's a pretty light install. You can run it on most machines. You could do a whole lot with it. Unreal comes with some baggage. It comes with some physics. It comes with some, some textures, and shading, and all that stuff that is a little bit heavier. You can go in and strip pieces out based on your needs, but it takes a little bit more effort to do that. So that's kind of the lowest level I can give. This is good news for indies. It's late. And it still doesn't necessarily undo the idea that's like, well, they could just do this shit again in a year, you know?
Yeah. They could change their minds again.
Obviously, John Riccicello not being there helps because he was a profoundly bad CEO basically everywhere he's been. But yeah, it's just kind of it's a little late, but it's still good.
Better than ever. That's huge though. Good for that dev community.
Good for those
convincing.
Good for those folks for sure. So
I can open the note stock now because you already told me
yes, I can.
The rich lore.
I want to ask you about those two things I was talking about. 99.99. 25 years ago, we had the release of the Sega Dreamcast.
I remember exactly where I was.
As Final Fantasy VIII, I did actually want to ask you. I think you were 3 or 4 at the time.
I was 3. So
that is crazy.
I was in preschool. I've told you this. I thought the Dreamcast was fake for a really long time. Like I didn't think it was a real box. I still don't think I've ever touched one before in my life.
Well, we got to change that.
I didn't think the Dreamcast was real. I just didn't think it was a real thing. Every Dreamcast game I played was on the GameCube.
Oh, all right. Yep. Okay.
And I thought they were just like GameCube games. It wasn't until after that I found out like Sonic Adventure 2 came out on a different box.
Yes.
And there was a Sonic Adventure 1. I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
That's it. I just didn't think it was real.
that was a really interesting split. So when Dreamcast came out and kind of failed quickly, PS2, GameCube, and Xbox were all doing much better. And then you saw this split from like the Dreamcast games that were really, you saw the split. Some Dreamcast games went over to GameCube, and some Dreamcast games went over to Xbox. And it was very like a very like weird split.
Wasn't the Xbox supposed to eventually just at one point just run Dreamcast games? Did I make that up?
I think that was like rumored. I don't remember that ever being like, but the Xbox in so many ways was a Dreamcast 1.5, I would say, in terms of, well, that's where he played Shenmue 2. That's where the 2K franchises ended up. They also ended up on PS2, but Xbox, that's where you could play it the best. Xbox had, I don't know if you ever played with this, but on Xbox, in NFL 2K5, I think they had it on the VIII 2K5, you could basically install your custom soundtracks for what the stadium plays when you'd score a touchdown.
Sick as hell.
How fucking sick is that?
Video games are bad now. We really fuck these things up.
So my big thing when I was playing NFL 2K5 on Xbox is that I went to some awful forum and this guy was like, I got you covered. And it was a pack of CBS, Fox, NBC bumpers, as well as like some other songs. And it was just like, you could just install it. And at breaks, it was just like, it was so fucking cool.
We fucked up so bad.
It was so fucking cool. Anyway, Dreamcast was great. It's one of the most, like, I would say front heavy consoles ever, where like the launch games were crazy good. You had Sonic Adventure. You had,
can't say the launch games were crazy good, and then the first game you say is that Sonic Adventure came out on it. That's insane. What are you talking about? It's the best console ever released.
Okay, all right.
It had E.T. Okay. It had Radical Heights.
It had Concord.
It had Concord. All the stars are here.
Bubsy. Okay, listen, fine. I'll flash rank my top 5.
Please.
Soulcalibur number 1.
Yes.
Okay. Then NFL 2K number 2. Power Stone number 3. Hydro Thunder number 4. And then Sonic Adventure number 5.
Hydro Thunder, great game.
Hydro Thunder was so cool because
I played that on the PlayStation.
This is something that I think the kids may not fully understand today, is that arcades,
yes,
from about 1990 to like 1998, if you didn't have a high-end PC, arcades are the only place you're seeing like crazy looking games.
Yeah.
And the Dreamcast basically shut the door on that and was like, no, this can run arcade games now.
Yes.
And that was very cool.
Daytona USA at the house must have,
well, Daytona USA was on Saturn, but it looked way worse.
Sure.
And so did Virtua Fighter.
But then now Dreamcast, on the Dreamcast, like, it looked regular.
This shit looked good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Power Stone coming out. Are you excited?
Power Stone is in a new Capcom fighting collection. Yes,
Power Stone 2 is the good one though, right?
Power Stone 1 is an incredible rough draft for 2. If you have 1 and 2 on the same package, I don't really know why you'd play 1 just other than just like checking it out for the first time.
No, I'm excited to play 2 with you though when that
2 is very cool. I can't wait to play 2. Power Stone is very much, I sit and think about how like I like Smash. I like Smash Brothers. But I sit and think about how like actually we fucked up and Power Stone should have been the thing that made it. Like that should have made it.
Did you see that the people, this is a little bit news, but did you see that the people who made Omega Strikers, which is a game that I wanted to like, but I'm not smart enough?
Oh, they're
to
making a
like
platform fighter, right?
it's a battle royale platform fighter.
Yeah,
it's
cool.
40 people drop onto the final destination, and
I'll play
and then you fight.
I'll try
sick as hell. It's
I
a
love
good
it.
idea.
It's a great idea.
The way that they're launching it is they're putting it in like a preview today and tomorrow, or this week or something, for a limited amount of time, and then they're like, well, if y'all say you don't like it, we won't make it anymore.
Love it.
So, and I'm
It's
like,
kind of a great way to do it.
That's a great way to freaking do it. They're like, if you don't want it, we won't do it.
You know what? That's what they did with Concord too. They spent 8 years. They spent 8 years. Boo, 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 boo. Niki just flashed their Concord hard copy at the camera.
Oh, wait, let me go on eBay right now. They gave me my money back. Did I tell you that?
Yeah.
They emailed me, and I have a $44 Target gift card in my
That's pretty fun
wallet right now.
You'll get you'll give Barley some fun little treats and toys.
I'm going on Concord PS5 on eBay.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to take a stab? You can give me the low and the high. The lowest I've identified, buy it now, and then the highest identified, buy it now.
Lowest is 84.
Holy shit, John! It's $89.99.
Wow!
Yeah.
Wow. Highest is tough because it usually skews in some crazy direction. 210.
250.
Okay, 250. All
250. Right. So pretty good. Wow. So I'm either rich or not rich, depending on the real money. It seems is in the controller, which is fair. The controller did look sick, actually.
Right.
But people want $300 American dollars for that bad boy.
They sure do.
Which is $100 more than the Astro Bot one, which is glossy. I didn't realize that it was.
Oh, it's a glossy controller. Yeah, ooh, that's kind of weird. I don't like that.
I already don't like holding the PS5 controller. So the idea, I had an Astro Bot one pre-ordered, and then I thought about it, and I was like, what the fuck? I don't need this shit.
Yeah,
I don't need this. I already have a red one that I don't use.
Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah. Have you ever played Soulcalibur?
Nah, I don't think so.
You don't like fighting games that much, right?
No, but here's the thing. I would like to like fighting game. I think I would love fighting game, actually.
My honest take on this is like you can go get a Dreamcast emulator, blah, 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 whatever. I can't remember if you can get Soulcalibur anywhere else, like legally. I think that game holds up genuinely today.
Yeah.
I think it looks good. I think it plays like a dream.
Cash.
I actually don't. I think it holds up. If you've never played Soulcalibur or any Soulcalibur game, I think it's the best Soulcalibur game, and it's really, really good.
Fucking wrong, you fool!
It's not fool.
There's one with Yoda in it.
Yoda
There's a one that's got Zelda.
Two is pretty good. Two is pretty good. Two's pretty good. But I think one is better.
Is there one that has? It was either you had Yoda or Link, not both, right?
Well, so
or those different games.
This is from memory. Okay, I think it was like Spawn on Xbox
from comics.
Yes.
Weird.
I think it was Link on Dreamcast. I mean, on GameCube.
Yes.
And I think it was Yoda on
PlayStation.
PS2.
That makes sense.
Yoda
did love Sony.
Let's not do a misinformation. I want to look up what it actually was.
Okay, is that 2?
So it's one word. Soulcalibur 2, I think. Oh, I was wrong right away. I can just see from the image I was wrong.
Awesome.
Okay, so wait. You know what? I was fucking close. Sorry. I'll just say that I was close. Heihachi Mishima.
Whoa, they got Heihachi
on PlayStation 2, which is pretty cool.
That's way cooler than whoever the fuck you said.
Spawn on Xbox, not cool. Zelda, Link from Legend of Zelda, okay.
Okay, that's fine. Where was Yoda?
Cloud was originally supposed to be in Heihachi's spot, but the licensing deal fell through.
Damn.
And that wild.
Square is weird about that because there's no Square Enix guys in Astro Bot.
Right.
Which is nuts.
Which feels silly. Right.
Like how there isn't a Final Fantasy VII level where you get Astro is like he gets the sword and is on a train is insane to me. That seems like a freaking dunk.
Now, I seem to remember Star Wars characters in this game, but
the Yoda was in there.
Oh, yeah, no, you're right. That's Soulcalibur 4.
Oh.
Soulcalibur 4 has got the apprentice from Force Unleashed.
Okay.
It's got Yoda.
Yes.
And it's got Darth Vader.
Yes, Yoda.
Say no more.
Minch.
Say no more.
His name is Minch. Minch Yoda.
Stupid.
I freaking love Minch. How many would you like to take a guess as to how many people are list? Oh, I'm illiterate. I thought this was the list of people who were quoted as being created by who created Yoda. But this is the voiced list.
Yeah.
Frank Oz, Tom Kane, John Lithgow.
John Lithgow. Wow.
What?
Weird. Wow.
When did John Lithgow voice Yoda?
Wow.
In radio dramas.
In radio dramas?
In the radio? Holy shit.
What the fuck?
Star Wars radio series.
Hey, welcome to the Star Wars Radio Hour.
Literally, yes.
Oh,
the radio dramatization of the original Star Wars film trilogy was produced in 81, 83, and 96.
Whoa.
They were brought and were produced. Big
they were
gap.
late on that.
Huge
real
gap
late on that
third.
Return of the Jedi.
Holy shit. This Wikipedia page, John, is a gold mine. Okay. I'm just going to read it.
Yeah.
They were produced by NPR as part of NPR Playhouse. Okay. A dramatization of Return of the Jedi was produced by most of the same team, was also broadcast on NPR.
Okay.
The radio serials were made with the full cooperation of George Lucas, who in exchange for $1 each sold the rights to KUSC. Makes sense. And then they got to use all the shit. Would you like to take a stab? No, I'm not even gonna. I'm just gonna read these to you.
Yeah, just read it.
The first season was Star Wars. There were 13 episodes of it. First aired on March 2nd, 1981, and it last aired on May 25th. It was written by Brian Daly and aired on NPR/KUSC, and it was directed by John Madden. In the second one,
the fuck
The Empire Strikes Back was 10 episodes long. It started airing on February 14th, 1983, and last aired on April 25th, 1983, and it was directed by John Madden. Return of the Jedi was 6 episodes. It ran from November 5th, 1996 to December 1996, and it again was directed by John Madden. Now, is it probably a different John Madden?
It's a different John Madden.
But I don't know that for sure because I'm not going to click on it. Because in my mind... the power...
Here's how you got to draw it up, Yoda. You want to do the flip? You want to flip right through here? You pull the lightsaber in, make sure it doesn't hit any of the trees. You get the lightsaber, you hit Darth Vader over the head, boom, pow. Touchdown.
Fuck, that's funny.
That's really funny.
Oh,
John Madden.
Directed by John Madden. What else happened?
Did you ever play you never played Final Fantasy VIII? When do you just
nope, I've only played the only Final Fantasy I've played are 7.
Just Google image search Final Fantasy VIII, and I just want you to take a stab at what this game is about.
This isn't the girl band, the pop star one, right? That's 9?
It's not. No, that's 10-2.
That's 10-2, sorry.
It's all right.
Okay, so I'm looking at the cover.
Yeah, just like, I don't know, any images. Just
I'm just looking at images.
Just like, what do you think it's about?
Huh. Oh, one of these is the guy that's dead the whole time. Right?
Okay. All right. You keep going.
Squill? What the fuck is this guy's name? What is his name, John? What is his name, please? I'm gonna fucking Squall.
Squill. And Squill's been dead the whole time.
That's it though, right? He's dead the whole time.
That is a theory.
Oh, like
that is
okay.
not
It's not
a canon
I see.
interpretation, but that is a theory.
His gun is a sword?
He has a gun sword. Yep.
That's pretty
correct.
sick. Gun blade.
The mechanic in that game is when you hit with him, you can hit the trigger button right when you slice and do more damage by shooting the gun.
That's cool. Is it like
cool.
Is it a real game or is it still turn-based?
Now, I did write in this one, it is not a Niki game under my note for Final Fantasy VIII. It is turn-based, but it is action turn-based, so you have to be fast with it.
Okay, sure.
But
that's fun.
But it's still turn-based.
Okay.
But I will tell you this. How do you think... Well, I'm going to ask you this. How do you think magic works in Final Fantasy VIII as a mechanic? Like not in the world, but like the player. How do you think it works?
You probably have to do some dumb shit like you can only do like 3 magics and then you have to do like a big sleep or something.
Sure.
And like the rate at which you can do a big sleep is like so few and far between that you might as well not do magic.
Got it. Let me explain to you as briefly as I can the Junction system. Squall and your friends. You can't use magic.
Who? Squill.
You can't use magic. You can't do anything. You're just a guy with a sword. You're a lady with a whip. You're just can't do anything. But you can find these summon creatures and then beat them in battle. And then they become yours.
Like Pokemon.
And then you can latch them onto your soul to be able to use magic. But when you latch them to the soul, you can only pick 3 things that the creature gives you. So you might want to be able to summon it to attack people. You might want to be able to attack. You might be able to want to do magic. You might want to be able to use items. Because you can't just use items. You gotta be able to do that. Or you might want to be able to draw. Now, drawing is when you go into battle and you select draw and you pull the magic out from one of the creatures and stock it up like it's a fucking Dr. Pepper. Now I've got 99 Dr. Peppers. I can take those 99 Dr. Peppers after the battle and I can say, hey, Ifrit, make my attack really high by putting those 99 Dr. Peppers in my attack stat. But if you want to drink a Dr. Pepper, I use the magic against someone, you're going to lower your attack a little bit. It was, and you're not going to believe this, Niki, incredibly polarizing.
Yeah,
it was like people did not know what to do with that. They still kind of don't. I think once you actually kind of get a hang of it, it's very elegant and cool, and it allows you to do some wild shit. But it is the most like needlessly complex battle system, I think, in Final Fantasy's history.
That is insane.
Yeah. But really good game. If they ever remake it, I don't know what they're gonna do. Because like they can't do that. They can't do that. But it's good. I recommend it.
10-2, what's that one about?
Oh, you kind of have to spoil 10 to talk about it.
Well, that makes sense.
So if you don't want to hear that, I don't know, just check out for the next 2 minutes.
Sorry, the game's 30 years old.
What game is 30 years old?
Final Fantasy X?
No, it's not.
When did it come out?
2001.
John, that's 23 years ago.
I thought you said 30 years old.
Yeah, that's might as well be 30. It's past 20.
Okay. All right, fine. Fair enough. So 10-2 is the continued adventures of the summoner Yuna, who, and this is where the spoiler is, in Final Fantasy X, it is her established destiny that when she gets to the end of her pilgrimage, she is going to necessarily die as a result of being the summoner to save the world. And she knows this mostly the entire time. All of her friends try to basically find loopholes in getting out of it, and they can't figure it out until the very last minute. And then her boyfriend Titus basically dies because he wasn't real in the first place. Well, okay, Titus. Fine. I say Titus because that's how they say it in Japanese. But
Titus?
I think so.
Titus.
I think so. They might say Titus.
Titus. I like Titus way more.
Titus. And so what she does after she loses her boyfriend and like her purpose in life is kind of out the window, she kind of has like a fucking like second era. I'm in my party era. I'm in my best life era.
Yeah.
And she becomes a pop star and she has a band. And she also does like thievery on the side. And like,
well, yeah,
she's basically an interloper between the three religious factions that want to take over the world after they basically they kill the religion of the original Final Fantasy X world. And then there are three groups that are like, well, we need a new one.
Right. And then
Yuna and her friends are like, I don't think we need a new one.
For sure.
And so it's actually a really interesting game. I like it a lot. I think people
can I play 10-2 without playing 10?
I'm gonna say yes, but it's a little bit like it's a little bit like playing Final Fantasy VII Remake without having played the original. It's like,
I had a great time.
You're not gonna really get some of the like the nuances of like why something is interesting, but I think you'll still have a good time with it.
Okay. Yeah. I have to finish Rebirth.
I do too. I haven't done that yet.
That was this year, John.
I know.
Is that fucked?
We've had a lot of
Yakuza like in Infinite Wealth came out this year also.
That's crazy. That one's really crazy.
Balatro came out this year.
Balatro feels like it came out this year to me. I don't know why, but it was a long time ago.
Yeah, 6 months. Well, not more than 6 months, but it was ages ago.
I've been playing two things I want to talk about quickly. I've been playing I Am Your Beast, which is the new Strange Scaffold.
I have to download that.
We can do our disclaimer again that we did with Marathon last week with Colin McGregor. Friend of the show, LB Hunktears, is doing social coordination for Strange Scaffold. Did not work on this game, but just so you know.
Elise sent me the code.
Elise also sent me code, and it is fun. It is a little bit like Neon White meets Hotline Miami. It is a cool murder sim. It's if you love picking up random shit and throwing it at people, kind of improvised action, I think it's a really good one of those. It's been getting really good reviews, and I can see why. It's a brisk game, not super long, but feels really good to play. So I think you should check it out.
I'm downloading it right now.
Download it. It's good. And the other thing that I started playing this morning, which came out today, is the Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection Arcade Classics. That is the collection that Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is on. I suspect that 95% of people that are getting this collection are getting it solely to be able to play that game. Not you.
I'm buying it for Punisher.
Punisher, absolutely.
I loved going to the arcade, popping in,
love beat 'em ups,
allowance. Yep. Popping in quarters and playing Punisher with me and all my dad's
and all your friends, all your rowdy friends.
Yep.
But Marvel vs. Capcom 2, I played a few hours of it this morning. Man, oh man, that game fucking rocks. It's really, really good. If you never played it before, you should play it. It's really fast, frenetic, 3-on-3 tag team action. Plays like a dream, looks great, and it's a good collection.
Sick.
Yeah, so definitely check that out. You playing anything besides Astro Bot or anything?
Astro Bot, I rolled credits on it.
Good.
In the time in between. I think that might be my video game of the year now.
A lot of people are saying, yeah.
I have been playing Balatro again, which is still good. I don't think I'm good at that game, but I'm having a blast.
I'm not either. I'm not either.
Like,
I seem to be like I seem to be like, oh right, I cleared my 5th.
Ever.
And everyone's like, I've basically gotten to the bones of the game. Like I can actually talk to Local Thunk, the person who made it.
Through it
within
like
the game
phone.
itself. Yeah.
I'm not that good, but I have a great time playing that game. I've been playing something else. I'm forgetting. Oh, I forgot that I was playing Paper Mario.
Great game.
Great game. I was picked that back up the other day. I'm in the middle of the wrestling arc. So
it's great. So good.
Good video game.
Really good game. One of the best looking games that's come out this year, which is just, wild.
I'm trying to figure out. I think I'm going to buy another one of those Nintendo voucher things. But I'm trying to figure out. It's a great deal, but I'm trying to figure out what the second game is going to be, because I'm going to use it on Zelda.
Right.
And then I'm
very excited about that.
And do I want to have purchased all 3 Mario RPGs this year and then really only play one? That seems silly. Or do I just want to buy what's that game called? Mario Party.
Mario
I was
Party.
like Peter Mario.
Peter Mario.
Party Mario.
I'm Peter Mario.
Hi, I'm Peter Mario.
I mean, I think me personally, I would just get the Mario and Luigi, but like
I'm not gonna play it though. That's the thing.
I know. If you're not gonna play it,
I'm not gonna play it. You know what I will play with people who come over? What the fuck is this game called?
Yeah,
they gotta come up with something different. Mario's Party.
Mario's Party. Yeah, well, you know what? I live in a place where I have friends now, so it could maybe I will get Mario
could
Party.
Hit more, could hit harder.
Weird.
Gotta play paper. Fuck.
You know what? Come over
John,
and play Paper Mario with me.
John, I forgot to take my ADHD meds today.
You know what? You're doing pretty good.
Thank you so much. But I am realizing I can't talk good.
Oh, I think you're talking great. I mean, it's like, aside from this, which
Pater Mario.
Pater Mario. Yes, the leader of our clan, Pater Mario.
Oh, man. When does Dragon Age come out?
On Halloween, October 31st.
Oh.
Yeah. I also started my yearly playthrough of Super Mario Odyssey last night.
Oh, hell yeah. How's that game? Is it good?
That game is, I don't know why that's such a fall treat to me, but when it starts to become fall, I play Mario Odyssey.
No, for sure.
It's so
I haven't played that game in a minute.
It is so good. I don't know what it just hits. It just hits right. I'm finally ready to say it's the best one of those.
Wow.
Finally ready to say it.
You're so courageous.
I know.
This guy likes Mario.
Can't believe it. All right, we have some Hive questions.
Please.
Let's get to those. Bone Chug Actual asks a Concord related question, but can you think of a time that a game chased a trend and it was actually a success? There's a very almost too obvious correct answer for this, but I will let you answer first.
Okay. Can you read it to me again?
Okay, now I'm starting to see where the cracks in the ADHD medicine are coming in.
Dude, that was crazy.
That's
John,
really
I forgot
funny.
I was on the call. Did you see that happen?
Yeah, I did.
That was
I
insane,
did.
dude.
I did.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. It's really funny.
Please, one more time.
Okay, so the world's already moved on from Concord, but in your mind, can you think of a time that a game chased a trend and was actually a success? I was saying that there is, I think, a very clear answer here, but Fortnite. I want to know your answer. Yep, that's it.
Cool. I love it when a question has a right answer.
It has a right answer. And I think that's it. I think there might be more examples that we could pull from, but Fortnite is the one that very clearly was like, we're going to make this thing that is really hard to explain and difficult to kind of like get your head around. And it's going to be a single player experience. And it's a little bit like base building, whatever. And then someone really fucking smart that was completely hopelessly addicted to PUBG was like, what if we threw this shit out and just made a cartoon version of this builder thing? It is the most fucking, I don't know, pirate ship, which is hard to say because they have so much money they can afford to try it. But it's like, it's the most like, let's just fucking see what happens.
Yeah.
decision that a big company like that I think has ever made, and it's the best choice that they ever made.
They pushed an update to save the world last week.
Did they really?
Yeah.
I mean, I know,
they keep adding guys to
I
it,
know
which
at
is
least
crazy.
one person who still loves it, that Australian guy that hates my guts that we used to employ.
That's huge.
Yeah.
I'm glad he's dead.
No,
get a real job.
He's not dead.
Oh.
No. He's great. He was nice. He just didn't like me very much.
Well, that's fair.
That's fair.
They keep eating guys. They keep adding guys to it. But you can look and see how many people are playing it, and sometimes there are custom games that have more people playing it than Save the World, like made by a 9-year-old, have more people playing it, which is just very funny to me. I think the most incredible thing, and then they'll never do it, but the most incredible thing in the world it would be is if next year they were like, oh, so what we did was we spent a lot of money, and we did make a sequel to Save the World. We were like, we really were kind of leaned in, and we were like, have taken all of the learnings that we have made from Battle Royale over the course of the last few years, and we really are making the Save the World that we wanted to initially. That would be so sick. They'll never do it.
They'll never do it. Lucky Hyena, there's no reason that anybody should keep up with with both of us wherever we go. But ask the question I know that we have discussed somewhere. I don't remember on what podcast, but it's worth bringing up again because I know you've been an additional couple times, I believe. Lucky Hyena wondering if we had been to Super Nintendo World now that's open. If so, was it more or less cool than watching the Mario movie 9 times?
Okay, relax.
So Niki and I did go after it opened.
It's the same.
Okay, so you've been back and it's the same.
It's the same.
So we will say this: the Mario Kart ride, one of the worst rides
experiences I've ever had at a theme park.
Ever had at a theme park?
Yes,
ever.
The theming of it, the line itself,
very cool.
Yes,
highlight.
Yes, but also not worth it. I don't think that park is good. Like I think that park is good.
Yeah.
And, like if here's when that part Universal Studios Hollywood specifically is good. And I actually really, and I probably should just do this. I want to go to Orlando very badly because as much as I like think about
I want to try all that shit.
I want to very badly go. Like I've never been down there.
The only time I've been was when I was like 5. I'd love to go.
Yeah, I want to go very bad. The only way that Universal Studios Hollywood hits is if you live in a 20-minute radius of it and don't mind parking at City Walk, and you get an annual pass. If you treat it like a fucked up mall that has a roller coaster in it that sucks, then it is one of the coolest places on the planet. But if you are... Oh no, but if you're going to it like you're trying to go to a theme park,
yes,
and expecting like a Disneyland tier experience, or even honestly a Six Flags experience, it is neither of those things. It's somewhere in the middle, and it's worse.
I'll tell a very quick story. And when Anna and I moved from Glendale to Sherman Oaks in 2017. I was kind of doing what I'm doing now, which is like I have 3 jobs. And what's different now is that I'm enjoying those jobs, and I wasn't enjoying them
huge.
In 2017. And it was my birthday, and I was really, really depressed. We had just moved into this place in Sherman Oaks. I didn't really like anything I was doing. It was my birthday. I was like, I don't want to do anything about my birthday. My birthday, bang.
Yeah.
And Anne's like, you're dumb. Like, let's go out. And I was like, okay. So she took me out to get ice cream, and she's like, what if we just went to Universal?
Yeah.
Because Sherman Oaks is only about 20 minutes away from Universal. And I was like, well, fine. Yeah. So we on a whim went, bought an annual pass. I got a button with Shrek on it that said, hi, I'm John. It's my birthday.
Yes.
And we had like the best fucking time. Yeah. And you just described to a T the exact scenario in which Universal hits.
Yeah, and it bangs.
Where if like because a few times a year it'd be like, do you want to go to the fucked up mall and maybe ride a ride? And it's like, yeah. And you would just go. Do you want to go get you want to go to the fucking haunted houses, which you would never do?
No, but not in a million years. Yes.
And that was actually really fun. I had a really good time watching other people get chased around by randos. And it's just like, yeah, that was great.
If you feel any sort of time, it is a park that you cannot feel time pressure on. There is a thing where you cannot at any this, and the second you do it, it falls apart.
Yep.
If you were like, I'm going to, for any amount of time, think about the amount of money that I paid relative to the amount of enjoyment that I am receiving, it falls apart because the math doesn't work. It just it simply does not work because it isn't that. However, if you live in the window to get unbelievably high and then make your way into the park and then do the studio tour stoned out of your fucking mind.
Oh my God. So
that
good.
Shark is real, gang.
Yeah, it's great.
Like, that's great.
Yep.
Like, that's really good. And then you leave, crucially, you don't do anything else there. You go and you do the studio tour, blaze out of your fucking mind, and you get back in your car and you go back to your house, and it's 7 p.m. and like you still have the rest of your night to go.
That's great.
Like, that's huge. And yeah, so that's how I feel about do not.
It's not a destination.
No, yeah,
don't go to LA to go do that.
No, it's not worth it. You will be disappointed. Go anywhere.
The only people
else
that wouldn't be disappointed are literally like 6-year-old kids.
Yes, children. Yeah, children amped out of their gourds, I'm sure. But like, if you're an adult, like, don't come to LA for sure. There's plenty of stuff to do, but don't feel like you are obligated to go to Universal because it's too much money relative to the amount of enjoyment that you'll get out of it.
But you and I did an exercise that I don't think they did, which is we stood at the exit of the ride and we watched the people come off it. And folks, we did not see one face that was full of joy, and we did not see one kid going, "Can we go ride at that again?"
No, not
you
once.
You will see that everywhere. You'll see that at the Harry Potter bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see it everywhere else, but you will not see it at that ride. That ride was bad.
It sucks.
If you want to go check out the bad restaurant, make sure you just get a reservation ahead of time.
Yeah, the food's not worth it, so don't. So I wouldn't even do that.
Yeah, don't even do that. All right. What ends first, Game Pass or Twitch Prime subs? Prime subs.
Twitch Prime subs. Yeah.
Game Pass, they're in too deep.
No, for sure. Like, they're in too deep and they're trying to get out, but like, I do think that the words still have, people don't know that they get free Twitch Prime subs.
Yep.
So if they took them away, people would be upset, but then people would also be like, I didn't even know I got that.
Yep.
It's the same way that like every month you get like 74 free fucking games on Twitch.
Yeah.
Also, like, when was the last time we downloaded a free game from Twitch? Never. So it's the same.
I've never done it. Sleeping Tycho. Hey, what's a genre that you will always wait? Hold on. Wait. Whoa.
Mm-hmm. I'm holding.
Okay, I'm gonna rephrase this question.
Okay.
Sleeping Tycho essentially is asking, like, is there a genre of game or a copycat experience that you will always try? So they gave an example.
Oh,
like,
I see.
Oceanhorn came out. It's a very clear Zelda-like. Did you try it? That kind of thing. Like, what is there a genre for you that does that?
I will. That's a great question.
Yeah.
Let me think. I will always play a home rhythm game. Like, if you are trying to put a rhythm game on a console, I will always at least give it an earnest shout.
Sure.
There was, I don't know, it's called Headbangers
or
something.
No.
Oh, I see what you're doing there. It was a game where you were a pigeon. It was a battle. It was a battle royale rhythm game where you were a bird. And I played that for a little bit because it's like, I think it's fun whenever anybody tries to do a rhythm game for adults, to play. So I'll always try a mass market rhythm game, like Trombone Champ, which is like not really my jam. Just because I don't think it feels very good, but I did play a lot of it because I was like, this is fun. Like, it's fun that you're doing this.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, they are adding the ability to create custom songs inside of the game,
which is very cool.
Which is great. Yeah.
That kind of like raises up, like, because I was going to say mine is pro football games. Like I'll pretty much try any pro football game. Most of them, frankly, are very bad.
Should we start playing Maximum Football?
But we could try Maximum Football. I usually play them, and that's a really good point because I would kind of, if I think to myself like who is an expert in kind of rhythm music games that I know, I would think of you. And like so there's like a little bit of level of expertise in the sense of like, yeah, I play a lot of football games. I try most football games. Yeah. So to answer the question maybe a little more specifically, Sleeping Dykel, I am interested in playing that Ubisoft Greek mythology Breath of the Wild game. I still haven't played it, but I think that's called like Icarus Rising. Phoenix Rising.
Yeah, Immortals. Immortals
that's right.
Phoenix Rising.
I'm kind of interested in that. My Hero Zero asking, does Minesweeper deserve to be considered among the best games of all time?
No, because it's not very good.
I would say yes, because I think it is very good.
It's not. Like, who gives it? Whatever. No one knows how to play Minesweeper. You just fucking click the squares.
It's very elegant.
It's not. You click the fucking squares, and sometimes they don't. Sometimes the shit explodes, and sometimes a number shows up.
If you want to read about it, you could read it. Kyle Orland wrote a great book about it from Boss Fight. I think it's
a book on Minesweeper, not in a million fucking years. It's a joke. Can you imagine rolling up to somebody and being like, I wrote a book on Minesweeper?
Yeah, it's a good book.
Get the fuck out of here.
It's a good book. It's really good. It talks a lot about how basically Microsoft really wanted people to get comfortable with mice because they were so new, and so it's very interesting.
That I'm sure it's great. I think out of the games that Microsoft made before they started making video games, I think that 3D Space Pinball is better than Minesweeper.
All right, that's fair. All right, we just have a few more left. Why do game devs need a publisher? That's from
Money.
Ganj.
I made that up. I actually don't know.
Money is part of it. So devs basically, the idea is just multifaceted. Sometimes you need money. Sometimes you need localization help. Sometimes you need help just getting shit to a platform. Sometimes you need help getting your game to a console. Sometimes you need a certification process. Sometimes you need QA. I can't remember if I said that already. There are a lot of reasons why you need help because you don't have the resources to do it yourself, and you may not have the expertise to do it yourself. So a publisher could basically help you bridge those gaps. It kind of depends on how good you are at the rest of it.
Yeah.
So that's my answer. What's the most disappointed you've been with a game? Not the worst game, but disappointed.
I think GTA 5 probably.
That's a good answer.
Because I think it was at a moment in time where I was like extremely ready to play one of those because I hadn't. I played San Andreas at my cousin or my neighbor's house, and then like did not play any of 4 basically because I thought it looked bad because it does. And then I was like, oh, now this is the one. It's like it's in a place I care about, and like and like the amount. Did I watch a lot of GTA content on YouTube.com of people having a good time with it? Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
But like it was not set up to be. I obviously did not like the story mode, and the online stuff was not set up to be fun for the way that I played video games. So I was like pretty wholly disappointed in that product relative to the amount of like hype that I had for it. And that was before I realized I didn't like the politics of the game.
Right.
Like I didn't like from a mechanical perspective, like I just didn't think that it was very good. And then I didn't like it critically.
My gripes with that game are not fully political. They're mechanical to a large degree. I'll stick in that vein. I'll say Red Dead Redemption 2 was really disappointing for me. I really love Red Dead Redemption 1, and I just didn't I didn't vibe with it. I didn't think it was very good, and put it down pretty fast.
That's because it's not good,
Final Fantasy 13 is actually probably my real answer, although having had a critical reappraisal of it recently, I like it more now than I did. But at the time, I was really disappointed in Final Fantasy 13. I was really disappointed. All right, last question. How's Barley, Ravioli, and Raisinette doing?
Barley's great. She just got shorn.
Shorn.
So she's lighter, faster, more svelte, beardless. They took it off, and by they took it off, I mean I asked them to take it off.
They took it off the store.
They took it off the store. She smells good, but she's good. She, I think I mentioned this on a couple of weeks ago's podcast, but she doesn't sleep with me anymore. So what the fuck is the point?
Man.
She sleeps in her own bed with her own wife. So what the fuck is the point?
Yeah, Ravioli did that to me the other night. Got in his bed, dude. and I. This is like a dog trainer would have been like, you fucked up so bad.
Oh,
but I folded that bed up like a hot dog,
and
I picked it up and I put it in bed with me.
Yes, that is the correct move.
And he just was like, all right,
yeah,
fine.
And Cookie is here now.
Ravioli's good. He's with me. He had to fish a cat turd out of his mouth this morning.
That's huge
because he loves cat turds.
They're delicious.
They're delicious.
Have you tried one?
I haven't. They must be great.
He's trying to introduce you to the flavor.
Yeah, he's like, you should have this, Papa. But he's really good. He's like such a sleepy, sweet guy. And I love him a lot. Raisinette's okay. She's in Fayetteville with Anne, as Anne is selling our house. It just went on the market. So if you want a house in Fayetteville, Arkansas, for some reason, buy our house.
You sent it to the basketball chat. It was so funny this morning.
I did. Well, because really I know one person lives there, so I'm like, maybe he knows.
Do you want this house?
Maybe he knows someone.
Yeah,
someone by my house. And Raisinette's good. She's a little freaked out by all the moves. She's pretty much blind now. But she's a sweet baby, and we love her. And her cheese pocket is just getting deeper, which is great.
That's good. That's what you want.
Great cheese pocket. All right, folks, we're gonna head out. This has been a good one. We covered a lot of ground today. Niki, you got anything going on you want to plug?
No.
Okay. Go listen to If You're Driving, Close Your Eyes. It's a good podcast that we're both on as well. Funny episode, 2 funny episodes actually will drop this week. Well, actually, we haven't recorded one of them yet, so it may not be funny.
Well, I think it'll probably be funny.
I think it'll probably be funny. And yeah, go to VGBs.com/join. If you want to join the Hive, you can ask us questions every single week on this very show. We also have a great Discord, and starting to get into the swing of things of posting stuff on the website itself again. So
you're posting again.
Yeah, posting again. So yeah, come hang out with us, and yeah, you'll get bonus eps. There has been a bonus ep drop in a little while. We're going to change that relatively soon. But probably not until I get my setup straightened out at my new house. So stay tuned for all of that. All right, folks. Thanks again for hanging out. And until next time, keep on buzzing. Bye.